There are moments in life when you are misunderstood, questioned, criticized, or even accused of things you did not do. In those moments, one of the hardest things is knowing that people may believe a story about you that is not true. You may feel the pressure to explain yourself to everyone, defend every decision, answer every accusation, and prove that your heart was in the right place. But Psalm 26 gives us a different response. David does not begin by trying to convince people. He begins by bringing his heart before God. He says in essence, Lord, examine me, test me, know me. David understands something powerful. God sees what people cannot see. People can see your actions, but God sees your motives. People hear your words, but God knows what was in your heart when you spoke them. People may judge one moment of your life, but God knows the entire story. He knows the battles you fought privately, the prayers you whispered when nobody was listening, the sacrifices you made without receiving recognition, and the intentions behind the choices you made. When others misunderstand you, remember that the one who knows you completely is also the one who judges perfectly. That is why you do not have to live your life controlled by the opinions of others. If someone has misunderstood your intentions, take it to God. If someone has questioned your character, take it to God. If someone has spoken against your name, take it to God. Instead of spending every ounce of your energy trying to convince people, spend time allowing God to strengthen your heart. Ask Him to reveal anything in you that needs to change, and then trust Him with everything that is outside your control. This is important because asking God to examine you requires humility. You cannot simply say, God, prove that everyone else is wrong. You must also be willing to say, Lord, show me if there is anything in me that needs correction. That prayer changes everything. It keeps you from becoming proud while you are being attacked. It keeps you from answering injustice with another injustice. It allows God to work on your heart while He handles the situation around you. Maybe someone has judged you because of your past. Maybe people have remembered your mistakes while forgetting the growth God has produced in your life. Maybe someone has created a false picture of who you are. You may not be able to control what they believe, but you can control how you walk before God. Continue to live honestly. Continue to speak with grace. Continue to choose integrity when nobody is watching. Your goal is not to win every argument. Your goal is to remain faithful to God. And there is freedom in knowing that God knows the truth. You can sleep at night when you understand that your reputation is ultimately not in the hands of people. Your life is in God's hands. He knows every hidden detail. He knows what happened. He knows what you meant. He knows what you endured. He knows where you failed, and He also knows where you have changed. So today, stop carrying the exhausting burden of proving yourself to everyone. Bring your heart before God and ask Him to search you, correct you, strengthen you, and guide you. If there is something you need to make right, give you courage to make it right. If there is something you cannot change, give you peace to release it. And if you have been falsely judged, trust God to reveal the truth in His perfect timing. Let your confidence come from this. God knows you completely, and you can trust Him with the truth. When your name is being questioned, one of the greatest tests is not what people say about you, but how you respond to what they say. It is easy to become angry when someone misunderstands you. It is easy to defend yourself with harsh words, repeat your side of the story again and again, or try to make people see what you see. But Psalm 26 reminds us that when your character is under pressure, You must be careful not to lose your integrity while trying to protect your reputation. David chooses to continue walking with God even when he is surrounded by people whose ways are different from his own. His response teaches us that your character must remain stronger than the accusations coming against you. There will be seasons when you cannot control what people think about you. You cannot control every conversation that happens behind your back. You cannot force everyone to understand your intentions. You cannot make every person believe your explanation. But you can choose how you walk before God. You can choose honesty when dishonesty would be easier. You can choose patience when anger feels natural. You can choose forgiveness when bitterness is trying to take root. You can choose to remain faithful when disappointment is telling you to give up. Integrity means being the same person in private that you claim to be in public. It means doing what is right, even when nobody is watching, and continuing to honor God, even when nobody applauds you. Your reputation is what people say about you, but your character is who you are when there is no audience. And when difficult circumstances expose your character, let them reveal someone who belongs to God. Maybe you have been treated unfairly. Maybe someone has taken your words out of context. Maybe your motives have been questioned. Perhaps you did make mistakes in the past, but God has been changing you, and people still want to define you by who you used to be. Don't allow their judgment to pull you back into an old version of yourself. Keep walking forward, keep growing, keep choosing what is right. You do not have to answer every accusation. Sometimes silence is wiser than an argument. Sometimes your consistent life will eventually speak louder than your strongest defense. If you know there is something you need to correct, humble yourself and correct it. But if you have honestly done what is right, do not destroy your peace trying to convince everyone of your innocence. Place your name in God's hands and continue walking faithfully. Integrity does not mean you will never be misunderstood. It means misunderstanding will not change your commitment to doing what is right. It does not mean everyone will respect you. It means you will not compromise your values just to gain their approval. It does not mean you will never face opposition. It means opposition will not determine the direction of your life. Remember that God sees the choices nobody else sees. He sees when you refuse to retaliate. He sees when you walk away from gossip. He sees when you choose forgiveness instead of revenge. He sees when you keep your word even when it costs you something. He sees the moments when you could have responded with bitterness, but chose peace instead. Nothing done in faithfulness is wasted before him. So if your name is under attack today, do not abandon your integrity to defend your reputation. Keep walking with God. Keep your heart clean. Keep your hands honest. Keep your words gracious. Let your life become the evidence of what is truly in your heart. And trust God to handle what you cannot control. Walk in integrity and let God speak for you when the time is right. There is a particular kind of pain that comes when someone tells a story about you that is not true. Being misunderstood can hurt deeply, especially when you know your heart was sincere and your intentions were good. You may replay conversations in your mind, wondering what you could have said differently. You may feel the urge to defend yourself, confront everyone involved, or make people understand the truth immediately. But Psalm 26 teaches us that you do not have to allow false accusations to become the force that controls your life. You can remain anchored in God even when other people have formed the wrong opinion of you. When people speak against you, Remember that their words do not have the authority to define your identity. Your mistakes may be part of your story, but they are not the whole story. Other people's opinions may describe what they think they see, but they cannot fully know what God knows about your heart. If God has forgiven you, changed you, and called you forward, you do not need to remain trapped by an old version of yourself simply because someone else refuses to see your growth. This does not mean that you should ignore every criticism. Sometimes criticism can reveal something we need to learn. That is why we should bring criticism before God and ask for wisdom. Say, Lord, if there is truth in what I am hearing, show me. If I have done something wrong, give me humility to admit it and courage to change. But if these accusations are false, protect my heart from bitterness and help me continue walking in truth. That kind of prayer keeps you balanced. It prevents pride when you are right and prevents shame when you are wrongly accused. The danger of false accusations is that they can tempt you to become someone you were never meant to be. You may become defensive, suspicious, angry, or bitter. You may start treating innocent people as enemies because of what one person did to you. You may stop trusting everyone because someone broke your trust. But do not allow someone else's behavior to determine your character. Their actions belong to them. Your response belongs to you. Jesus teaches us to love our enemies and pray for those who mistreat us. That does not mean allowing people to continually harm you or refusing to establish healthy boundaries. It means refusing to let hatred take control of your heart. You can protect yourself without becoming cruel. You can speak the truth without becoming hateful. You can walk away without wishing destruction on someone. You can release revenge while still trusting God to bring justice. Maybe today someone has spoken against you at work, in your family, among friends, or within your community. Maybe your reputation has been damaged by words you cannot take back. Remember that God is not confused by the situation. He sees the truth. He sees what happened before anyone else heard about it. He knows what you meant, what you endured, and what you are becoming. So do not spend your life trying to correct every person's opinion. Keep becoming the person God has called you to be. Keep your heart soft. Keep your conscience clear. Keep your actions honest. Let your consistency speak over time. When you refuse to let false accusations change you, you are declaring that your identity is rooted in God, not in the approval of people. Do not let someone else's false words rewrite the truth of who God is making you become. There are battles in life that you can face directly, and there are battles that you must place into the hands of God. One of the hardest lessons to learn is that you cannot control every situation, every person, every conversation, or every outcome. Sometimes you can explain yourself and still be misunderstood. You can do your best and still be criticized. You can tell the truth and still have someone choose not to believe you. In those moments, God invites you to stop carrying what was never meant to be carried by your strength alone. When your reputation is attacked, your first instinct may be to fight back. You may want to answer every accusation, expose every person who spoke against you, and make sure everyone knows your side. But constantly defending yourself can drain your peace. It can consume your thoughts and keep you trapped in a battle long after the conversation has ended. Psalm 26 reminds us that David brought his situation before God. He trusted the Lord to examine his heart and deal with the circumstances surrounding him. That same trust is available to you. Letting God fight your battles does not mean becoming passive or refusing to take responsible action. If you need to apologize, apologize. If you need to tell the truth, tell the truth. If you need to establish a boundary, establish it. If you need to seek wise counsel, seek it. But after you have done what is right, do not continue trying to control what belongs to God. There comes a moment when faith says, Lord, I have done what I can do. Now I place the rest in your hands. That is where peace begins. God sees the conversations you were never invited into. He sees the motives behind actions. He sees the truth behind misunderstandings. He knows when you have been treated unfairly, and he knows when you have made mistakes. Nothing is hidden from him. You do not have to provide God with evidence as though he does not understand your situation. He already knows. Perhaps you are facing a conflict in your family. Perhaps someone has damaged your reputation at work. Maybe a relationship has become painful because of misunderstandings. Maybe you are dealing with circumstances that seem completely outside your control. Instead of allowing fear to dominate your thoughts, bring the situation to God in prayer. Tell him exactly what hurts. Tell him what you wish you could change. Then surrender the outcome. Surrender does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop trying to be God. You stop demanding that everything happen according to your timeline. You trust that God's wisdom is greater than yours, and that his timing is better than your impatience. Sometimes God changes the situation. Sometimes he changes the people involved. Sometimes he changes you while the situation remains for a season. And sometimes he opens a door you could never have opened yourself. Do not underestimate what God can do when you stop fighting with human strength and begin trusting his wisdom. He can reveal truth. He can soften hearts. He can close harmful doors. He can open new ones. He can restore relationships when restoration is right. He can give you peace even before circumstances change. So today, give God the battle that has been exhausting you. Do what is right, speak truth with grace, and then release the outcome. You do not have to chase revenge or live in constant defense. God sees you, God knows the truth, and God is able to handle what you cannot. Do your part faithfully, then trust God with the battle you cannot control. There are seasons when you may feel as though your story has been interrupted by injustice, misunderstanding, disappointment, or loss. You may have done your best to walk faithfully, yet something still went wrong. Someone may have spoken against you, rejected you, misunderstood you, or damaged your reputation. In moments like these, it can feel as though the situation will never change. But Psalm 26 reminds us that your present circumstance does not have to be the final chapter of your story. God sees what you cannot see, and he is able to bring truth, justice, peace, and restoration in his perfect time. One of the hardest things about waiting for justice is that we often want immediate answers. We want people to recognize the truth right now. We want apologies right now. We want our reputation restored right now. We want everyone who misunderstood us to suddenly realize what really happened. But God's timing is not controlled by our impatience. Sometimes he allows a season of waiting because he is doing something deeper than simply changing the circumstances. He may be strengthening your character, teaching you patience, deepening your faith, or preparing you for something you cannot yet see. When you trust God, you do not have to become obsessed with proving yourself. You can continue walking faithfully while God handles the outcome. This does not mean that every person will eventually admit they were wrong, or that every situation will unfold exactly as you hoped. It means that your peace no longer depends on other people's approval. Your confidence comes from knowing that God is just, wise, and faithful. If you have made mistakes, restoration begins with humility. Do not be afraid to acknowledge where you were wrong. God does not require you to pretend that you have never failed. He wants you to grow through your failures. Ask Him for forgiveness, make things right where possible, and keep moving forward. Your past may explain part of your story, but it does not have to control your future. And if you have been falsely accused, remember that God knows the truth. You may not be able to change someone's opinion, but God can protect your heart from bitterness. He can give you strength to remain faithful when others are unfair. He can teach you to forgive without pretending that what happened was acceptable. He can help you establish boundaries without allowing anger to become your identity. Restoration can also look different from what you expect. Sometimes God restores a relationship. Sometimes He restores your confidence. Sometimes He gives you a new opportunity after one door closes. Sometimes He removes you from an environment that was damaging you and leads you somewhere healthier. And sometimes the greatest restoration is the peace you receive when you realize that your future is secure in God's hands. Do not judge God's work by what you see today. A seed grows beneath the soil before anyone sees the plant. In the same way, God may be working in ways you cannot yet recognize. He may be arranging circumstances, opening opportunities, protecting you from things you cannot see, and preparing the right moment for what comes next. So keep walking in truth. Keep your heart clean. Keep praying. Keep doing what is right. Do not allow injustice to turn you into a bitter person. Do not allow disappointment to make you abandon your faith. And do not allow someone else's opinion to determine your worth. God knows your story from beginning to end. Trust Him with the truth. Trust Him with justice. And trust Him with restoration. What feels unfinished today may become a testimony of God's faithfulness tomorrow.